I learned to make baskets by just watching my mother, and then I began to pick up small pieces of white oak strips that she had snipped off from her baskets as she made them, and then I began to make little bread baskets, and that was to get me money to spend on things that I wanted to buy, like candy, drinks, and stuff at Jenkins Grocery. I was about 10 years old when I began to make baskets. My mom stressed to me, she said it was like to supplement your income, that when you married and you were raising a family and your husband was working, and if you didn't have a job, then that would be your place to make baskets to help him buy things and to pay bills. As you grow older, then you begin to learn that these baskets were a big part of Cherokee women's lives in the old days when they used them to contain things that they had, like beans and corn that you saved for the winter usage. That's where you would store those things. I can make just about any type of basket that someone asks me to make. We make handle baskets, which are like the baskets that they use to gather corn in the fields. And we make accessories like pocketbook baskets that the ladies can carry today, just like a purse. And we can make fish baskets for the men to use, which was a thing from the older days, like the 1700s, that they used. Just about every house that I saw in the 50s that had a man that fished, he had a fish basket hanging on his porch. But basically, I can make just about anything that you want to have in a basket style. And I have done a little bit of pottery and beadwork and some leather work, but basically I like the basket weaving. In my family, there were 8 children, 3 boys and 5 girls. I'm the oldest daughter, the oldest girl, and every one of us make baskets, but some of them, like my sister Bear, she still needs some help, perfecting her techniques on the basket, so I still help her, and each of my brothers have made baskets at one time. And I have 3 grandchildren who all weave baskets, and my mother always said there was a distinction between my grandchildren and me and my son Edward and herself when she was here. She said for me to tell them that they were basket weavers, not makers yet, because they didn't go to the woods to find a tree to bring home and start from that point. So they were weavers and we were makers because we could start from the beginning. And then in the brothers and sisters family, they have children that make baskets too. When we grew up now, we had to kind of respect the white oak, because if my mom was weaving baskets and you stepped on her splits, you got a scolding. So you didn't just treat the white oak anyway. So if it's laying on the floor, you better not step on it and crack it up. So that was one thing of respect that we learned, that you couldn't just treat it anyway. And then a lot of the funny things is when we go into the woods to gather white oak or just go with my mom to gather white oak, and then she taught you different types of mushrooms to look for that were edible, different kinds of plants for medicine, and then we just played like monkeys in the trees sometimes, so that was the fun part. I look up to Lucille Lossy because I think she's really a really excellent river cane basket weaver. But then when she wrote her biography, she had learned some of her techniques and the double weave style from my mother. So she's an expert in the river cane. I'm Louise Goins. I'm a Cherokee basket maker.